Welcome to our Millionaire Dynasty weekly meeting. Welcome. I think we're live. Here we go. Start again. Welcome to our Millionaire Dynasty weekly meeting. This is your sales director, Natalie Noel Cousins, coming to you live from Queens, New York, and very excited to be back from seminar. Thank you so much to God the Father for taking us there safely back. We know that there was so many things going on in the air. I was seeing the news talking about planes blowing out tires and skidding and almost crashing. And, sometimes we take things for granted. We were delayed by several hours on our return flight. But as we know, nothing happens without a reason. Like when we're believers, as believers in God, we know that God takes care of us all the time. So I'm just grateful for safe travel going and coming. And then we had a great time while we were down there. So much going on. Of course, the expo was great. I had a chance to sit in with a makeup artist on something called underpainting. Kafrisa, you heard about underpainting? It's like they're using like really like colors that are a lot brighter than their skin. Then they put the foundation over that to sort of diffuse the color. So they're using foundation and concealer that's like much
Yeah,
darker than it and
yeah.
much brighter. And then they'll put their foundation over that. I'm like, this look like a lot of work. I like
It
that just
does. They like giving themselves a lot of work.
but you know what? It looked beautiful. It did look beautiful afterwards. She did a great job. She did it in a few minutes. The class was 30 minutes. And she showed us how. The only thing that she didn't show us was how she picked the colors, but you could see that they were definitely like 2 or 3 shades darker than her skin. She was using like on her model who was a light, she was using deep foundation, deep three. So it looked really dark. So it's like, it's just different ways of accomplishing the looks and stuff that they want to do. And it's just another technique. But just like that, we had an opportunity to learn in so many different ways that, before that you may not have learned before. I like the expo for that. You get to go and sit in and learn a whole lot. You learn about also, you can go ask questions about products. They have a whole product knowledge area. You see the new products, you can ask about old products, you can ask legal about any questions that you may have about your social media and stuff like that. Because right now they are very vigilant about social media. They're checking everybody. They are, every little thing they're bringing it up, right? So they want to. So how they explain it is like they want to make sure that they are helping to change the view of the industry from the government perspective, like the FCC and the FTC, because people have always said, people have said some negative things. You need to put on the light in your space, Marion. You're too dark. Turn on your overhead lighting. Um, and they have so much negative stigmas that they really want to. There you go. I can see you now. Yeah, the blur background, you should try a different background than the blur, because what happens is the blur is the AI trying to match your and determine where your edges are. And with your hair like that, it can't, it's having a hard time. So it's not showing your edges properly, but that's okay. Um, so that's just for information. Okay, so yeah, so there's that. You could talk to legal, you could talk to I went and I spoke to Craig, who's the VP for all of the technology division, the black guy who's the head of that. And he, just telling him, hey, we like some of the new developments, but remember, what was it I was telling him? I was like, something I said, you guys don't give us enough communication when you change things, right? So like they changed the events app and it wasn't communicated. So, I was looking for it in old places. It was the old app, all this kind of stuff. And I couldn't find what I needed, but to God be the glory, we got that figured out. and one of his people was demonstrating and stuff like that. So it was fun. It was a good time. The expo, I think, was one of the more intriguing things for me. And then we had, of course, the director classes, we had the red jacket classes and the independent beauty consultant classes below red jacket. Um, and they had, I think it had a separate class for DIQs. So our next, the next big event, there's two events coming up for Mary Kay. One is, it's actually three. It really depends on how you look at it. But one is the Fall Advance with Candy D. Lewis in New Jersey. The information is out, nsdcandy.com. I think it's her website. If you've been there before, the information is on you in your email. She's everybody who's registered and been there before, you can check your email for Candy D. Lewis. She's got, she sent out the notification. First deadline actually passed, which is August 15th. So if you missed it, you want to maybe reach out and ask, can we extend it? Because I think I'm going to ask her to extend it. Should we extend it? Because we were traveling. But it was the 15th for the $50. By the end of this month, if you do the payment in full, like you're in a drawing or something, if you do it this month, if you pay, or whatever, but the time is still there, still going. So you can do it, whatever. If she doesn't extend it, you can still get in there and pay it in full. The next one after that is they'll have a jump start. We usually do an online jump start in January. That's simply to get us going. Remember, we're at the 6-month mark in the seminar year. So literally every quarter, Fall Advance is right at the 3-month mark. January is the 6-month mark. March, which is career conference, is at the 9-month mark. And then, of course, seminar is the end of the year. And we have in January will be leadership conference in Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona is called Spa Country, and we'll be down there early in January, like around the 18th, I think it was, January 18th or so. So make it your business to be a part of it, right? DIQs and above are invited to attend leadership conference as you're either finished, of course, new directors and above, but DIQs are definitely invited. So if you're a DIQ, you'd be able to go, and then they have special events just for the DIQs to help kind of boost you up and get you going. Now, that's just events coming up. And I love one of the nationals. She explained, she said, when you go to the events, the Mary Kay, the company events help sort of stoke the fire and the passion that you may have. We're recording, right?
Yeah, that's all right. But I got to do my hair. Sorry.
Right? It's all right, once you don't mind. The company events help to stoke your passion because you may have the passion, but it wants to help revisit your vision for what you could possibly do. And I've been getting the message, it's like it's really this thing here, which is called like the endurance factor, perseverance, determination, right? Lorinda King spoke about determination. If you haven't watched the movie Secretariat, please watch the movie. I have not, but that was one of the recommendations. And just apply it to your life. Some of the lessons that you get from the movie Secretariat. That's that racehorse that was a champion racehorse, thoroughbred, and how he won his races, right? So those are some of the things. Excuse me, sinuses kind of acting up. But anyway, so those are some of the things that I got out of seminar, just some high level information. And it really reignites you to lean in closer to God. Lean in closer to God, because we know that success. So here's what it is. It says success is not a satisfier. It's not meant to satisfy you. Success should never satisfy you, because the only thing that you should look to as a satisfier is your relationship with the Lord. So your relationship with the Lord should be on 100, right? You should be seeking his face. You should be leaning into him, especially in those moments when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel like things aren't working. You run to him and lean on him and ask him for guidance, wisdom, comfort in the moment because you feel, maybe you feel stuck, or just that, right? That type of conversation with the Father, because we go through things. Sometimes you feel intimidated to go forward. Sometimes you don't think you can make it. All of those things, but it really is alive within hell when you see people who are in wheelchairs and walking with a cane and have cognitive issues and are dealing with all kinds of illnesses, or who were battered women, or overcoming cancer, all of these things, and still, succeeding in their businesses and still reaching out. It means that God is still able to work through us. There is something, and the enemy don't fight you if you doing stuff that's bad. He don't come up against you. He doesn't resist you. If you're doing something that's going to break you down, take you away from the Lord, he just lets you keep going. But when you start leaning into the Lord, doing something for the kingdom, impacting lives, becoming successful so that others will know, and you can speak to other people about changing their lives, coming closer to God, leaning into the Lord, um, being lifted up from their circumstances. When you can do that, when you have those conversations, he's gonna fight you because he doesn't want people, he don't want you to rise, and he don't want the people who are connected to you, or whose destiny, or whose legacy, or whose soul salvation is connected to you. He won't let you rise. So he's gonna keep you, and it's very easy to keep you in a tailspin, a spiral, your mind distracted, to keep you, because I'm gonna just put you on mute there, honey. Keep you going through things, because he wants to stop you from fulfilling your purpose for the kingdom, right? It's all about the kingdom, right? That's what it is. So when we go through our day, we've got to look at it and say, Lord, what can I do for the kingdom? How can I build my business so that the kingdom will be glorified? Not, if you don't focus it on that matter, you're going to say, oh, well, this is not working. That's not working. I can't. It's not able. You start having those negative confessions or negative thoughts running through your mind, which becomes self-fulfilling. But when you say, I'm well able, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, I'm building for the kingdom. Everything I do, I'm doing it as unto the Lord, right? Colossians 3:23. I'm um I'm building the kingdom. If you start with that mindset, when you reach out to someone, it feels like this is kingdom business. Being positive, giving them a call. Some people, Caprice and I were talking about one of the consultants who recently passed, not having anybody but her Mary Kay family, and even so, not really being connected to a whole lot of people. So she was, it seemed like she was by herself when she passed, and it had been several days before it was discovered that she had passed. So we should consider that our reaching out, us talking to people, loving on people, making them feel important, making them feel special, she living by the golden rule, all of that should remember. We should remember that that is our mission, to live by the golden rule. As a matter of fact, this morning, this morning's devotion came up, and it was about the golden rule, and I was like, okay, God, I receive it, because that was Mary Kay's. It's how the company is built, right? Treat others the way you want to be treated. So remember that. And sometimes we have to step back and look at how we've been treating others. We might say, I don't treat people bad. No, you don't treat people bad, but and you might say, well, I don't want that. I don't want people to think about, I don't need people to call me. I don't want people around me, right? That might be your conversation. But not everybody says that because some people are lonely. They are lonely. Just checking in on your customers, your consultants. How you doing? Is everything okay? Those are a blessing, right? Because you don't want, not everybody can handle just functioning on their own independently, high D personality, not needing anyone else. Not everybody can do that. But being able to notice someone when they struggle, able to notice someone, huh, notice someone and help them to rise above their circumstances, first mentally, and then they'll see it manifest. I know it's been the last couple of years have been quite challenging for us, but we're still here. We're still in the game. We're still covered. We're still blessed. We're still, God is still on the throne. And we have to continue to believe that. And there are things that we can, if we think about it, we can really admit that we have not been doing. We used to do, we stopped doing. So we can get back to some of those things. So, Kafrisa, you there? I asked Kafrisa to train tonight to share on the information we talked about for the recruiting. Young mid honey, put it back. So I asked Kafrisa to train a little bit tonight on it because we're going to get back into recruiting. That is one of the areas that we have not been strong in. Like we did a great burst in March when there was the promotion, but I want to see us to do the full recruiting process so that we, if we do invite people to come in and they say yes, they're going to stay, they're going to work, they're going to understand that this is a business, right? So that they're not coming in to play games. They're coming to learn, they're coming to see, they're coming to do all that. Are you ready to share that information, Caprizo?
No, I'm not. I don't know what I'm going to say on the camera. What you mean? Like,
So
I
we
don't.
we went through the on Sunday, we went through the some of the things that you would do for the recruiting, how you would get the people, how you would get the people to book, and then how you would do the actual conduct the actual interview session.
Interview. Well, I can't remember verbatim.
Oh, I thought you had made notes. I thought you made notes.
Yeah, I didn't. I made notes, but I don't know why I
Don't
put.
know where they at.
Yeah, if they on my phone, I sure can't get them because I'm on live. But
Okay, I got you. I got you. No problem. So I'll share. I'll share. So take notes somewhere, right? Because I'm gonna want you to. I want you to practice sharing this so you can share it with your customer. I mean, with your team members as well. So what we're going to be doing, and we also see that Coach Karen is doing the same thing. We're focused on recruiting. Now is a great time to recruit because we're not under as much pressure. We're not under as much pressure as like a last day of the month or last day of the quarter or some promotion or the end of the year, whatever. We're in that phase where we have the time to practice and to hone our skills. This is one of the skills that we want to develop. Oh, excuse me. Don't know what's happening with my throat. In the name of Jesus, keep my throat good. Yeah, so it's one of the skills that we want to focus. So we're pretty good at selling and booking people for sales and stuff. We have to tighten that up too. But the main thing I want us to think about uh, going forward, and I'm calling this part this training our theme for the rest of the year is the road to seminar stage 2027. Road ROAD to seminar stage 2027 because we should have more people walking across the seminar stage, more people at seminar, because you've worked hard all year long. There's no reason why you should not be recognized for your efforts. You deserve it. You are special, and Mary Kay wants to let you know how special and important you are to them. Plus, it, like I said, it ignites your fire. So one of the ways we're going to be on the seminar stage is in the court of recruiting, whether it's Princess Court, which is 12 qualifieds for the year, or in the Queen's Court of sharing, which is 24 qualifieds for the year. And we can do it slow or do it quick, right? You could do it slow where it's 2 a month or 3 a month, whatever, because we have the last, the rest, we already missed July. Or we can do it 10 a month, whatever. But that's the momentum you want to gain by focusing on your recruiting skills. Now, we know about gold medals, right? A gold medal is 5, a silver medal is 4, and a bronze medal is 3. So we're going to make that as part of our road to seminar. Having a gold medal is the goal every month, to have 5 new people that sign their agreement. Now you might say, well, I can't make people sign their agreement. Exactly. So what you can do is increase the number of people that you're inviting to listen to your presentation, right? So the first part of it is inviting more people to listen to you, which means as you do the faces and you have making those connections or reconnecting, invite them to listen to your presentation saying, I am looking to promote myself this month of August or whatever month it is. I'm looking to promote myself this month, and I need to have five sharp, and you want to compliment them in a side way, right? I want 5 sharp, intelligent, ambitious women, or ambitious, willing women, or ambitious, winning women, whatever. Some sort of complimentary term. I'm looking for 5 women who would listen to my presentation and give me their honest opinion. So it's similar to asking them to get the opinion of your products, how you would ask for the facial. I want you to try, I want you to listen to my presentation and give me your honest opinion. Then when you get those women booked, and you let her know it's only like maybe about a half hour, we can do it. I'd love to meet you in person. Of course, if she's local, I'd love to sit with you in person. Or we can do a quick, we can do it on Zoom, some video call. The magic of being in person is that you get to read body language. They get to see your body language. They get to feel your energy, all of that. But you can still do some of that through Zoom, right? You can let people know that you're excited, that, you're excited about what you do, etc. So once you book that, your goal is to book about 15, 20 people, 25, 30 people, right? Of all the faces that you see in the month, you want to book them. At every event, you should be able to get at least 2 people, the hostess and one other, maybe 2 people who you could invite, one or 2 people who you could literally invite to hear your presentation. Okay, so that's part 1. So that's what you have to do, where you find the people. Part 2 is when you get to the interview, we're going to conduct a full interview, which is we don't just launch into Mrs. Cab. You don't just launch into, you want to make some money. What you want to do is first connect with her further, asking questions about her. Okay. So, for example, tell me a little bit about yourself. Remember that question? Tell me a little bit about yourself. Well, what is that? She'll tell you, oh, I run a company. I oversee 5 stores. I have I run the mayor's office, whatever. She's going to tell you what she does, what she's accomplished. That's a deep personality. She'll tell you, oh, I love people. I like to work with people. I I have a party planning business, or she's an I personality, loves getting people together. She tell you about her family, right? Remember, so that's the DISC. That's where you bring that in. You will determine from the way she answers which one personality she is, right? She's a DISC. When you determine that, the next question beyond that is saying, that's really great. Tell me, if I could share a couple of things with you about Mary Kay, what would that be? So you want to know what she'd be interested in learning about Mary Kay. Everybody's curious about something. How do y'all make money? Is this real? Is it a scam? Da, 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 da. Whatever. Are you guys, concerned about the environment? So you can make sure you answer those specific questions in your presentation. Not yet, but in your presentation. So whatever she says, you tell her, say, oh, okay, that's cool. Then I ask you, what is one thing that you would, if you could change anything and there was no obstacle, you had all the money, you not there was no obstacle to you, what would you change? Right? So you think about asking her that because you want to tie Mary Kay to that pain point as a possible, listen to the word I'm using, possible solution or as a recommendation. Oh, she says, well, I can't stand my boss. They don't pay me no mind. Da, 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 da. You know which one. You listen to her. When she says that, you don't jump right in still. You say, tell me more about that. Tell me more about that. You want her to talk a little bit more about the pain point. Say, well, how does that make you feel? What have you done? What have you tried? Are you currently looking for another job, for something job related? What are are you working on that? How are you, what's your plan? Sometimes they say, well, I don't even know. I just know I don't, I want to make this change and I don't even know where to start. I need this, I need that, right? So you listen, you may take some notes while she's speaking. The next question, excuse me, beyond that is, um, if nothing changes, if that doesn't change right now, or what would your life look like in the next 6 months? If nothing changes, what would that look like in the next 6 months? She might say, well, I'd probably be the same place, still frustrated, right? You want to listen to see if she's a go-getter, if she's coming up with her own, if she's coming up with any ideas, or if she really is just stuck and she needs a helping hand. Um, so you want to understand what that is. Say, well, if you could, and if you could change it, what would that look like? So if nothing changes, what would your life look like? But if you could change it, what would your life look like? You want her to begin to dream a little, and you want to end on the high note by saying, well, if you could change, if you could make some changes, if you could get some help, if you could get some direction, what would that look like in your life? Would she'd be like, well, I'd probably be happier. I'd probably accomplish more, or I probably have more time with my children, or whatever. So you begin to listen for what are her hot buttons, what's her focus, right? So that's the first part of the interview, learning more about her. The second part of the interview is saying, well, um, I want to recommend to you, I want to let you know, hey, Vivian, I want to let you know that Mary Kay, women start business, and then you go into Mrs. Cab, right? Mary Kay's people start a Mary Kay business for the following 6 reasons. And which one resonates with you? At the end, you'll ask which one resonates, right? The money, the recognition. You describe each one in a little bit. Money, the recognition, the self-development or self-esteem, the cars, the tax advantages, being your own boss. So you tell her those, and then you ask her which of these two, which one or two resonates with you, like really, you know, it may be she'll say, oh, the money, but that wasn't her pain point, and that's okay because now she has two areas, two pain points. So she'll tell you which one resonates with her, and you will also guide her and say, well, it looks like based on what you just shared with me, which is your hot button, which is the thing that would change, that you want to work towards changing, you could also get the benefit of Mary Kate in this area, right? So she might she might, you know, her kids are leaving. It's like, you know, once your kids leave or once your kids graduate college, you know, your tax advantages are over. You need something to keep your taxes going. So you can talk to her about it in the area that she may not have identified, but that you can see putting it together because you're objective, right? You're not in it, you're not all into it. So when you do that, you have a little more of a discussion. You say, you know, um, is there any reason, right after you explain that to her and you may have a little more discussion, you can ask them and you say, do you have any questions, right? Is there any questions that you want to ask? Did I answer your two questions? Well, you maybe remember if you answered your two questions, which you wrote down. Then you say, did I answer your questions? Do you have any more questions? So when she says she doesn't have any more questions, you say, well, you know what, Michelle, is there any reason you couldn't try Mary Kay for the next 90 days or so, you know, for the next 90 days or so to try Mary Kay to see how it can help you to reach your goal. Because the point of it is not Mary Kay for Mary Kay's sake, but Mary Kay for her end goal. Mary Kay for the end goal. Is there any reason why you couldn't try Mary Kay for the end goal? Because if you give it your all, 100%, you attend the meetings, the trainings, you do everything that your mentors advise you, right? I'm going to be one of your mentors, plus our director, our sales director. Any one of your mentors advise you, or that you get some ideas. If you do those things 100 with your whole heart, right? 100%, um, and you go through that whole, you know, 3 months, you go through a whole year, you can literally sell back your product to the company for, you know, with a 10% restocking fee. So that's only a 10% depreciation, which makes sense, right? You've put out whatever money, whatever products you still have um, that you still have on your shelf, you can put that out to the company. And now with our My Shop feature, you really don't have to invest in a lot of product. You can have your own personal use product, but you don't have to stock a whole lot of product. Use your My Shop and put in the orders directly from there and have them delivered direct to your customers from the company so that you can work your business flexibly. Now, if you have local customers, you may need some inventory. And you can mention these things. These are some points that you want to mention because some people are very concerned. Oh, I don't have space. I don't want, I don't know. Okay, you're kind of giving her the out. You're allaying her concerns. You're overcoming her objections as you go along. You know, whatever, I don't have space. Then she tell you, well, you asked her, is there any reason why she couldn't try Mary Kay for the next, you know, try out Mary Kay and see if it can assist her with meeting her objectives. Because if you don't know what her goal is and you just join for the discount, when she starts to see the work that's involved, that she has to meet people, she has to have a party, she has to follow up with the people and call them and send them their product, and she's got to do the work, she's going to freak out because she's not thinking about it in that way. And she's not going to be tied to it as a way of accomplishing her own goal. That's why we always say, we always come back and we revisit with you. What is your why? What is your goal right now? What is the real thing that you're just tied to? Okay, I need to make some money. For what? What do you want to do if you got the money that you want to make? What are you going to do with that? Okay, I'm going to pay some bills. I'm going to say, okay, why do you want to pay off your bills, or why do you want to save the money? Who would benefit? What would be? So you want to dig a little deeper to get her to vocalize what her concerns are. So you're there to help her to see how a business with Mary Kay can help her, right? And that's the thing. It's like saying, how we say, you know, it's like teaching a man to fish. The person's hungry, but you're actually teaching them how to fish. Or, you know, you're helping them to dive deeper into their own concerns and look at Mary Kay in a different way. right? So if she says, well, I love the discount, I love the product, that's great. How can that help you? Let's talk about how it can help you towards your goal of saving money. Because if you buy the product at a discount, you know that's money that you can save from buying it at full price at Mac. Mac don't give you no commission. Mac and whoever, Sephora, they'll just take your money. And if you don't like your product, too bad. You're gonna have to just use it or throw it away, right? So you want to make sure that she understands that. And then you let her know, say, listen, while you're walking through this, I'm going to be there with you. I'm holding your hand. I'm going to encourage you and support you. Now, I'm not going to do the work for you because you got to do your work, but we're going to be here every step of the way. If you have questions, we're going to be there. We're even going to help you with your launch party. We're going to help set you up so that you can get started, and we're going to help give you as much training. So you want that's all that is your I've been talking for like what 15 minutes now. So that's your whole interview. And you ask, is there any reason why you couldn't get started today? The second time you asked, so the first time you asked, is there any reason why you couldn't try Mary Kay for the next, for the next 90 days up to 1 year? At least for the first 90 days. And then we get you in and get you situated, right? And then when they ask the second time, you're going to ask her, is there any reason why you couldn't get started today? So the today, you don't want to leave and without her giving you an answer, because then you also uncover her objections there. She said, oh, well, I need more information. Okay, that's great. What information do you need? Because I asked you if you had any more questions. You didn't tell me. So what information do you need so I can send you or provide that information, or I can guide you to where you can read that information, right? You can put on a website, a video, whatever. So you don't be intimidated by people giving you objections. Your objective is to get her to sign today, or to understand why she can't sign today. So okay, so she said, and most of the time it's the money. She's like, oh well, I don't know how much it is. Say, well, that's interesting. We haven't actually talked about how much it's going to cost to start. For $90, and you start with the higher one. For $90, you get an entire kit with worth of $400 of material, of product, full size product and material that's excellent for you to start with 30 women that you can share the product with, and we begin to show you how to use this and get started right away for $90. And you pause. She go, oh, for $90, I don't have $100 right now. But you can always put on a credit card, debit card. There's a firm, there's ways to do it if you have that. And she's like, well, I don't know, I don't have money like that. Da, 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 da. So, well, the other option is if you start with the $35 option, you get your website, you explain that, and you say you don't get any, you get a very small welcome sampler packet, which was good for like maybe 5-10 people to get you started. But you would then have to make the investment in getting full-size product for your demo, right? Because your full-size product is a requirement. Or more samples, section 2 samples. Full-size products get you credit with the company. Section 2 gets you expense. It's just an expense. So you say, okay. She said, oh, okay. Can I think about it? That, of course you can think about it. Tell me what you need to think about so I can help you, give you the information you need. Don't leave it at, I want to think about it. Because it's like, honestly, what's there to think about? We've walked through all of your objections. So you say, well, I try. Now, when she come and tell you, I tried it before. Now we're talking. You did. When did you try Mary Kay? Blah, blah, blah. What happened? Now you can go deeper for her to find out what happened. And she said, oh, I did Mary Kay and I didn't do so good. I said, well, what happened? Did you work with your director? Did you work with your recruiter? Did you can ask a question. Did you go to the meetings? Did you listen? Right? Did you follow instructions? And then you can dive into that, because if you can't tell me you tried Mary Kay once before and you completely failed, you didn't sell one thing. The challenge though is that, we don't always, sometimes it could be she did sell, but she didn't manage the money, right? She took the money that came in Somebody bought, people bought product from her. She took all of the money and she used it on paying her bills. So she invested 600. So she sold all of it, 1,200, and she took the $1,200 and paid off bills. Back at square one. You can't continue anymore, right? You have to know, okay, how do you go from there? Because now people want product, you gotta wait, they gotta pay you, it gets all complicated. Say, okay, we can work with that, we can, and then you say, I want to introduce you to my sales director, my mentor and sales director, so that you can build, you can know that she can assist us. She can be right there with you. And that's it. So you want to get that interview. Now if she says she really has to think about it, maybe it's like she got to talk about it with her hubby. She got to talk about it with her best friend, her mama, da 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 da. Da. So that's great. You know what? Let's circle back in 24 hours. I did promise you a lipstick or a lip gloss. So when we circle back in 24 hours, we're gonna know. I'm gonna make sure I have your gift for you as a thank you for the time and all of that stuff. And you can give me your answer then. Make sense? And she'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's fine." And you just follow up with her. So basically, she's not going to get that gift until she gives you an answer. The answer has to be either, yes, I'll do it, no, I won't do it, or maybe I'll do it, but not right now. She's got to give you something definitive. I'll think about it is not sufficient. That means she's not gotten enough information or she's ducking you and she's afraid to say no. So when you say that, she say, I'll think about it. I say, it's okay. Like I said, this may or may not be for you. So it's okay if it's okay if you say no, it won't hurt my feelings. Yes, it will, but if you tell her that. It's okay if you say no, it won't hurt my feelings because I know what I'm looking to do to promote myself, right? To promote myself this month. And thank you so much for your time of the thing. Now she goes, oh, but you said you would give me a look. Let's say what you said you would think about it. So when we meet tomorrow, you'll get it then, right? Or I'll give you that because you've got to have some reason for her to follow up with you tomorrow. Otherwise, she'll be like, she get her lip gloss and she gone about her business, right? And she really don't. And she starts to ghost you. So we have to not be afraid to ask the hard questions and the uncomfortable questions, but it's really to uncover what's her issue. We may be able to see it that she have 5 children and she could use the extra money, but in her mind, she can't see how Mary Kay is going to benefit her. So it's our job to show them but help her to uncover what her real issue is and then be able to say, Mary Kay can help you with that. You don't have any savings. Okay, you can meet all your expenses one way, so Mary Kay can help you with having a little extra money to save. And we can show you how to do the money management, right? We can teach you the money management and we can teach you the time management too. If you have 4 hours a week, you can make a little extra money. Right. So that's how you want. But if we don't do those kinds of interviews, you're not going to find the people who you can say, oh, they come in to do this as a business and to follow instructions. They're going to go shoot. They don't want to come to the meetings. They don't want to take your calls. You're struggling with them because they did not look at this as something that could help them. They're looking at it as how they can help you. And yes, there are people who come in to help you, but when they see the work, most of the time they just say, "Oh, well, they think that them just signing up helps you, but that doesn't really help you. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help the company. It doesn't help you. So she has to understand that helping you means she comes in to work and help herself. You see? All right, any questions? So that's what we're going to be focused on our road to Seminar State 2027, where we're going to walk in the court of sharing. We're going to talk about the court of sales, but we know the court of sales, right? You got to get your sales done. You got to work. Our goal is $4,000 a month in sales. And that's 40 faces at $100, right? Or 30 faces. Let me see, $4,000, 30 faces is what, 125? 4,000 divided by 30 faces, $135 per person. okay, for 30 faces to get $4,000 in retail sales in a month. So you work on your 10 parties with 3 people each, 5 parties with 6 parties with 5 people, 5 parties with 6 people. You work with those. So you get your 30 faces. Book those parties. You need to book more than 5 to get 5, right? Say book 8 to hold 5, book 8 parties, book 10 parties to hold 5. And you coach each one of those parties and those hostesses so that you can get those 6 people per party, the hostess and her 5 guests. So that's 6 people. And then there's 5 parties, that's 30 faces. Make sense? Questions?
Yes, you said $4,000. You get four faces, 40
Oh,
faces at 100.
yeah, $4,000, 40 faces. That's 40 people who buy $100 from you for the month.
And you said 135, 30 faces and something else.
Right. So if we stick with the 30 face now, the 30 faces that I mentioned, which is, 5 parties with 6 people each, the hostess and 5 people, that's your 30 faces. So at 30 faces, the goal is 135. So you want to, on average of 135 per person per party. So that'll be like 130
135 times 5.
exactly times, let's say 6 people at the party. That's like $810 in the party, right? If it's by 5, 135 times 5, that's 675. And you do your proper money management so that you can see your profit, right? Um, but yeah, you do 5 parties for the month, that's your 30 faces. And
Mm.
135 is a skincare set, right? With you can either put it with the eye cream. It could be the skincare set with a charcoal mask. Could be the skincare set. If you offer the microdermabrasion, that bumps it up. If it's the skincare set, that's why we want to do the basic, right? That's $116. It could be the skincare set with
58.
uh, a booster. It could be this, you know what I'm saying? So there's if it's the basic set, when I say the basic, meaning just a cleanser and a moisturizer, that's $60. So you want to do you want to offer some other product like the booster or the mask. So you want to get a higher, you want to upsell, as they say, you want to upsell the customer when you're working with her in close.
Shelter. Mm-hmm.
So when you're working at that level, you can average $1,000, right? If you do one party and it's $800, 2 parties, 1,600, right? And the trick there is in the one-on-one consultation. The trick there is having the pre-profiling where you know who the guests are, you connect with them, you find out what's their skin type, and you find out what's their biggest skincare concern. Because when you know what's her biggest skincare concern coming into the party, that's the stuff you speak to. So she says, she has hyperpigmentation, or she has a lot of scarring from acne, or she's still breaking out, and it's like I'm in my 50s and I'm still breaking out. You can recommend certain things to her at her one-on-one consultation, so that you're already working with her. So she's more likely to say, "Oh, I need the toner, right? She can use the acne toner, the Clear Proof toner with salicylic acid. She can use retinol. She can use the retinol, which will also help with clearing up the marks and helping with the acne, right? So there's different products that you can recommend. You can say, we do have a couple of solutions. Usually you'll say, we do have one or two or three, whatever the solutions are for acne. So these are the 3 solutions, but this is the one I recommend for you because boom, boom, boom. So she might take your recommendation or not. not your issue. You're going to give her the choices and your recommendation, and then say which one would you like to get, so that you're working with her directly on her concern. Because she'll already have on there the skincare set. So then you make sure you let her know. So, I do recommend that you get started with the skincare, the Time Wise Miracle set or the Time Wise Repair set, because don't really have a regimen right now, and you're starting to show the moderate signs of aging or advanced signs of aging, and this will immediately help you to see results in the next 4 weeks. You begin to see, so that she understands that yes, it might sound expensive or whatever, but you're actually helping her. They say, when I see you within the next 2 weeks, we'll see how your skin is responding to it. And I can show you where, we'll do another skin analyzer to see how your skin is improving. And you'll keep working towards it, because in 2 weeks, you may or may not see results, but we'll definitely see some differences in 4 weeks. So we'll follow up in that 2 weeks after that. And that way she knows you're going to be walking with her step by step, and you will be walking with her step by step. So she don't feel like she spent $200, $300 with you, and then she's like, because nobody else does that. Clinique don't call you and ask you how your product working. Mac don't ask you who else has skincare, whatever. Whoever else is the skincare people that we talk about, right? Clinique, Fenty, and all these people, they don't ask you, they don't care. You bought the product, is up to you, your business, right? So you go to them and you wanted to let her know that you'll be there. You're her skincare consultant. You are there to support her in achieving her skincare goals, so that the discoloration is going to be visibly changed in the next 4 to 6 weeks. And we always say 4 to 6 weeks, but because you want her of 4 to 6 weeks of consistent use, you want to use those words, 4 to 6 weeks of consistent use, but sometimes you can see results sooner than that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You had a question, Mom?
No.
Okay. So yeah, so this is how
I do.
Okay, what's the question?
I do. So the Great Start, that wouldn't be for her, but I'm thinking about the Great Start. The Great Start is 30 faces, 6 parties with 5 guests.
Yeah.
So
it's not necessarily a great start. It's called a power start.
Power start. And the Great Start is what?
Great start is for new consultants in their 4-month period, 1 to 4 months, to them to be able to earn $600. I mean, for them to do the $600 wholesale, either in one shot or cumulatively, where they can earn the bonuses. That's the great start period.
So that means even if I do that, I wouldn't get nothing.
You can't do the great start period. You're out of that. You're beyond a new consultant. That is a new consultant incentive.
Okay.
So when you have new consultants, so the next step, you could talk inventory with them, but I usually recommend that we will talk to her together. You'll be there until you're really good with talking about inventory. And we talk to her about getting her inventory, her personal use products, and some full-size product on hand, so that she can have a couple of skincare sets when she has her launch party, and then she can order products through her My Shop. She can order, different things.
Okay.
Yeah, questions?
So basically, tonight it was talking about the power start and the great start.
No, what I was talking about tonight is the power start. The power start I spoke about is really just what we always talk about, right? That's get 30 faces in 30 days. That's the power start. We can do a power start anytime. You are definitely allowed to do a power start. That's you. That's always on you. But I was training tonight specifically on our interviewing skills. On the Road to Seminar Stage 2027, where we're going to walk across the stage in the Court of Sharing, right? That's been, Caprice has done the Court of Sharing before, but we want to walk across the stage again in the Court of Sharing and earn that diamond bumblebee, right? Earn the recognition, be in the top 20, be in the top 3. I don't care. I would love to see us be there, right? Go, so you're going to be able to go on the road to seminar so that you'll want to go to seminar because you have your recognition to get, right? You got to put on your bling badge, you got to get your sash, you got to get your all of the things. So, but we want to go on the road to seminar stage 2027. So recruiting, it's just one of the areas that we really need to refocus in, is what I was
Mm-hmm.
talking about. So that's part of the recording, just talking about how to conduct, how to first get the interview or to book her for that session, and then how to conduct that session. So it's not just you want to make some money, because they're like, I make money. I already know, I could go to the corners make a couple of extra dollars with whoever
Whatever.
working 20 hours a week. Right. And then that's another thing. It's part of the things, since we know how that is, to say, you know what, some of the benefits of doing Mary Kay business, you don't have a second boss. You're your own boss. Um, you don't have to work 20 hours. You can work an extra four.
Whenever you want.
You can work an extra 4 or 5 hours, but 4 or 5 hours of time invested in your business in a week can get you some. You can start to see some results. So the focus. So that's that. Now for us, if
Give them the floor.
we've not been interviewing, this is a way to start. If our business, in terms of, we're not doing the parties, we're not doing the facials, this is how we want to get started. You want to make sure you go through your phone book. I've said this before, and I'm doing it now. You're going through your phone book daily and sending out 10 or so messages to reconnect. What are you reconnecting? This is what we talk about with Coach Karen in the mornings. You're having these beginning conversations. Hey Patricia, it's Natalie with Mary Kay. Can I borrow your face? She may or may not respond. Not your concern. You want to get the right. You might say, "Hey Patricia, how you doing?" I put that in sometimes. It's Natalie, or I might say, "It's Natalie. How you doing?" One of the two combinations. They have different effects. Can I borrow your face? May I borrow your face? Sometimes they'll go, borrow my face. What? You want a response. As you say, oh, I'm building my business, I'm building my portfolio, and you work through that so that you can get the bookings. Because if you're not meeting people right now for some reason, people are busy, you're not going outside, it's too hot, whatever, you have a lot of names in your phone book, in your papers, in your all of the things, right? You had cards, go through those. That is your gold mine. In some cases, you may find that those people say, "Oh, I have a Mary Kay consultant. Oh, I'm on the team." Okay, that'll be on you, right? Oh, I'm a beauty consultant now. That'll be somebody who you missed, right? Because she was looking for the opportunity. But again, don't, you have options. And when you talk to some of your old people that you reconnect with, say, it's the same story. Say, of course you can get another facial if you did it, even if she did it before. Of course you can get another facial. Because why? Your skills have changed. Or they should have, right? When you first were doing facials, you didn't know what you were doing. You didn't have a spiel. You didn't, right? Now you got some skill. She can experience that. She can also experience the new product or something that she's never tried before, right? The new skincare, whatever. So you want to reconnect. And this is how the Mary Kay was voted number two in customer service, beat by UPS.
UPS beat us.
The UPS store. And I was like, UPS store? Okay. So it probably was close. And I'm sure it would be awesome for us to be number one in customer service, because customer service is follow-up. Being there for your customer, reminding them of stuff. Even the reminders when they register on your website, they get reminders that says, you looked at, have you ever gotten that from some other companies? I saw you looked at this product
Yeah.
Don't forget to come back and make sure you order the product or whatever.
Is there any reason why?
They give you a little thing. So the company does that too. It sends out a little blurb that says, your basket or your shopping cart still has this.
Mhm.
Don't forget to complete your order or something like that. They send them,
Amazon.
and you can do it through your My Shop. Make sure you're sending out your My Shop. Some customers will go anyway, and that's okay. You know, so that's it. Any more questions for today?
Mm.
I did we record the conversation? Because I think I missed a couple of
Okay.
things, so I want to be able to look
Yeah,
at.
so we're still recording on the YouTube, so I'll send a link.
Yeah.
If
Okay. Fine.
I
I have
wanted,
one for that first question.
sure.
That first opened up of recruiting when you asked the closing was, is there any reason why you couldn't start today? But the
Right.
first one was, how did you say it?
Oh,
Is
tell
it
me the first closing question or the very first question to start the interview.
yeah, the first question to start the interview. That wasn't.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Oh, okay. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Okay, I know I got that part. Okay, that was it. Okay.
Mhm.
Opening
Right.
into
So your job is to ask questions before you start giving information,
Mhm.
so you know how to gear your answers. I remember one time I did an interview and I messed it up, right? I jumped right into Miss
Right
Cat,
into Miss Cap.
did some of the stuff, but I had to give her a whole lot more information and I didn't feel confident because I didn't know what was her hot button, what was the thing that she was most concerned about. The
right.
whole point of asking the questions in the beginning, it builds your confidence because you know that what you're going to share next is going to meet her needs.
Mm-hmm.
See? So that's where that is. Our phone probably die if we send this phone. Yeah. All right. So that's where that is. If you have more questions after you rewatch the video, you can definitely reach out to me. Vivian, I'm gonna give you a call, girl. We ain't talking a minute. I wanted to hear all about your weekend. And yeah, that's where we are. That's where we are. We're gonna be on the road to Seminar 2027. This month is gonna be amazing. This is our first month, so we're gonna have 11 months, right? We're gonna have
Yeah.
11 months. We're gonna have 11 months of success as we're on the road to Seminar stage. As long as we follow the instructions and we go forward with the mindset that we cannot lose, we will succeed. We will be victorious. God is on our side. No matter what, there's nothing that man can do to us. The enemy can try, but he can't stop us.
Exactly.
We are going to have it, right? It may seem like we can't find a way. We're going to lean in. We're going to lean into the Lord more, right? I love Vivian. Vivian, I love this. This is your quote. Jesus, help me right now, right? That is a real prayer. When you feel like you can't approach that gorgeous woman, she's so sharp, she's so put together, you may not be looking your best, or you may feel like, oh, she's not gonna be interested in Mary Kay. Jesus, help me right now, because you brought her to across my path. Help me to reach out to her. Help me know what to say. Jesus, help me. Lean into him to help you because we're going to do everything as unto the Lord, right? Whatsoever you do as a word or deed, as unto the Lord. We're going to run our business as unto the Lord. So we're not going to be lazy. We're not going to be slacking. We're not going to be making excuses because that is not unto the Lord, right? That's not glorifying God. We can't tell people to do it like this. Everything we're going to do is to be able to say, follow me as I follow Christ, right? Follow me because this is the way. Walk ye in it. This is how you're going to do your Mary Kay business and be successful at it, right? We're not going to be afraid. We're going to be walking in power, in boldness, walking on water by faith. We're going to do this. And I believe in each and every one of you because guess what? I have to. There's no, for me, I burned the bridges already. Mary Kay has
Mhm.
for me, right? I'm not doing an alternative. I'm not starting another business. I've invested a lot of time and effort into Mary Kay, so it has to work for me. And that's how I'm going to make sure I learn all of the things that I need to learn, do what I need to do. I've made up my mind to do the work, right? The work is what's required. We've got to do the work. You've got to put in the effort and the time. It's not going to happen. Whether that means, even if that's 4 hours of work, 4 hours, but you got to do some kind of work. You see what I'm saying? You can't expect
Mhm.
business to work and you don't put in any time. You don't put in any
Yeah.
effort. Call nobody. You didn't text nobody. You didn't post nothing. You didn't. How's it going to work? You didn't stand, you didn't put up your little table nowhere. You didn't carry some products with you. How is it going to work? Right? So if your jam is being outside and you meeting people and you have your little table, do what works for you, but still build so that you can build your other skills, open your other avenues of income. Not everyone who you will come to your team is going to be able to stand outside for a couple of hours and sell some product. They're not going to. So you have to get the skills of booking the faces, doing those on the go appointment when you go to the doctor or wherever you go. Okay. All right. So I think that's it for today. Again, we're on the road to seminar stage. You're going to hear me use that. That is our theme, road to seminar stage 2027. We are, and I worked it out. So I spent, including food, my dress. I did not include my personal care items, like getting my hair done, my nails, because I got my nails done the day before. I didn't get my hair done. That's like $300. So let's say, including those things, I spent about $1,500. Okay.
Wow. I thought it was 1,000. I
Yeah,
said,
1,500.
I
Yeah,
can't
That's
believe
that's not too
1,000.
bad. How was it, Natalie?
it was fantastic.
It
I know
was
it
great.
was. Oh,
You know,
Mom, you went too?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I went, and Patricia, her team member.
Patricia went to one of my recruits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was she able to get up one time this time? She was able. Did she get lunch?
We got everything.
Yeah, y'all got food this time. Remember before the lines was long?
There was no food. So
There
we're in
was no food this year.
so when
What
we're
was
in
the food?
Dallas,
There was
they,
no
they
food.
didn't give us food. So you had to have your own food. I think I spent about $200 in food.
Mm.
Breakfast was at the hotel because the hotel we stayed at did give free breakfast.